Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Evan here. And, oh man. You guys are watching the Anonymous Liberty Media. And this is huge. Really, really freaking huge here, folks. A nurse in the medical field has defied a gag order. A gag order, folks, a gag order. And definitely defied a gag order, to tell the truth. Okay? Now, what this nurse said. Okay. Now, this is going on under your nose, without even anybody knowing about it. So, if you suffer from, if you ever suffered from diabetes, leukemia, or if you had a bad heart, I mean, any kind of issue with, and say, died of a fever, died of a heart attack, kidney failure, cancer, whatever you call it. It is up to the doctor to write your cause of death. Just write a cause of death. And it's not, but when you croak, instead of your natural reason why you died, or pass on, or care, whatever, the doctor, say, if you got a complications of diabetes, pancreatic cancer, heart problem, dead. Instead of putting your cause of death, the doctor will put that you died of COVID-19, aka coronavirus. And the doctors and nurses have their hands tied. Okay. The people up want the numbers of how many people died of coronavirus. Because the numbers of the real death, cause of death, that's going away. If you had a heart attack and died, they don't want that on your death certificate. They want to put it where you died of COVID-19. Talk about the number, folks. Talk about the numbers. On how many cases, how many died, how many recovered. So, if you think that you're gonna, if you have a heart problem and you all of a sudden die of a heart attack, good luck with that. Okay, because you might be dead of COVID-19. Even though it's not really your cause of death, they're going to put it that way. They're going to put cause of death, coronavirus, COVID-19. Right. This nurse told the truth. Okay. They don't want you to think with logic. They just want you to go along. They just want you to go along with the real, with the counterfeit cause of death. Okay. So this would be something that you might want to look into. Really look into, because it is really fucked up. So, So, whoever is having this done, if you're a doctor or a nurse of any type of in medical field, they're going to make you sign this gag order, which is really, really fucked up. Because they don't want you to know the real reason for what's going on. It's about the numbers, about the bullshit that's going on now. And a lot of people are starting to really to notice. Okay. Now the mainstream media are going to deny this ever happened, but citizen journalists can do it themselves because they could go in. Look, well, it's kind of funny that there's no people in the hospital and shit. Like, there's a line, but nobody's in there. And so it does kind of question on what the fuck's going on. What the hell's going on? How come the doctors and nurses have their hand tied and they're not allowed to think logic, just go along with the story? Well, I don't think that's wise to do so. Look, if something's wrong, talk about it, report it. Because you know what? People need to fucking know. Simple as that. So, research, look into it, folks. This may piss you off, okay? This may piss you off. Now, there's a video I came across, and this really just insanely pissed me off too. Okay. Now, what they're doing with the dead. Okay, I want to tell you what they're doing with the dead. What they're doing is they are taking the bodies that died. Okay, taking the bodies that died. Let me see here. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? They are digging mass graves on this island. Okay? And they are just straight up burying, let's see here, and they're doing it without the families knowing. Okay, this could be a member of your family, someone you know, close to, and whatnot. But I had this. I seen the footage. It was a. Let me see here. Inmates are being used to dig these. Where's it at? Let's see here. Where's it at? They're being used to dig these trenches and shit to put these bodies in. And I had a question when I saw that. I was like, thinking, okay, well, they're doing this shit. Okay. Mass report, mass crisis graves, really. How far will media go?
If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, then by God, it's a duck. This is Masters Report. I'm John Masters, and you're not.
Check him out.
You probably noticed that there's
check out John Masters on the Masters Report on YouTube.
Over MSN right now is about all the mass graves being dug and people's bodies just piling up in New York City. But here's the question. Have we asked the right questions? Are we just doing a knee-jerk reaction because of the vision of mass graves, bubonic plague, the swine flu? Well, which wasn't really that bad. It was bad, but not that bad. But we can say the Spanish flu. Let's find out. All right, let's be honest. There's few things in this world that won't induce more panic than the thought of mass graves, okay? And we got a great title. This is coming out of the BBC. Coronavirus. And by the way, BuzzFeed, which should probably be Democrat feed. I don't know why they went with BuzzFeed. They're covering it. Pretty much everybody that's within the Democrat wing, if you want to call it. Remember, keep in mind, left, right, it's all the march to tyranny, okay? So this is coming from that talking point. And they're pushing right now, of course, as you all know, that we should run this lockdown of the economy until, amazingly, after elections. And then everything should be all clear.
Coronavirus, New York ramps up mass burials amid outbreak.
After the elections are done. But anyways, guys, again, not judging either way. It's just the facts. It's just facts, man. Okay, not only do we have this really great headline here, okay, that New York ramps up, they even got footage. Let's see what they got.
The state has had more coronavirus cases than any single country. Bullshit. Images have emerged of coffins being buried in mass graves in New York City as the death toll for coronavirus continued to rise. Probably some of these coffins are victims of the COVID-19. The mayor has already indicated that temporary burials might be needed until the crisis passed.
Now, as we go through the article, you'll notice that the emphasis is going to be on COVID-19, even though they already stated that it may contain. There's no confirmation of it. But we still got to talk about it, which leads the mind to believe that these are...
The U.S. as a whole has recorded 467,000 cases, about 16,000 deaths globally. There are 1.6 million cases and 97,000 deaths.
COVID patients. Anyways, workers in hazmat outfits were seen stacking wooden coffins in deep trenches in Hart Island. Officials say burials are being ramped up at site, which has long been used.
Look up Hart Island in New York City.
For people with no next of kin or families, okay? And who cannot afford a funeral. This is key, guys. This is key. No next of kin or families. New York now has more... Now we're going to get to the coronavirus. New York State now has more coronavirus cases than any single country. The state's confirmed caseload of COVID-19 is nearly 162,000, of whom 7,844 have died. The U.S. as a whole has recorded 487,000 cases with 16,700 cases. Globally, there are 1.6 million cases, 97. I want you to note these figures right here, okay? 16,000 deaths from COVID is kind of amazing since, influenza deaths have really dropped. This isn't even really a severe cold season, guys. And yes, I will add, there is probably a benefit. We'll never know exactly how much of a benefit that social distancing has.
It's kind of funny how, yeah, influenza, heart attacks, cancer deaths, kind of all went down. But corona deaths, virus deaths are up. Look at the map. Go figure.
Done. But man, this is a really mild cold and flu season. But I know all you guys are telling me, but it's not the flu. It's not a cold. It's novel. Now, according to the article, normally about 25 bodies a week are interred on the island, according to the Associated Press. But now this is where we put the fear in, okay? But burial operations have increased from 1 day a week to 5 days a week, with around 24 burials a day. This is according to the Department of Corrections, and you may wonder, why is it the Department of Corrections spokesperson? Because normally it's Department of Corrections people that do the burials, which we're going to come to here in a minute. Remember, I got some questions going on here. So this is question one I have. Prisoners from Rikers Island, right here it says it, Rikers Island, the city's main jail complex, usually do the job. But rising workload has recently been taken over by contractors, which, again, my first question, why are contractors doing this? What, is free labor just too expensive? So we need to use an outside source beyond what we normally use?
I'm wondering if they continue to use these inmates from Rikers Island, and once they get done with them, do they put them back in their cells, or do they, I don't know, mysteriously disappear them because they kind of know something? But here they're using contractors
to do this. Perhaps an insider. Or here's another question: is it a benefactor of Defys? Is it, is it what's the word that we like to use? Has he been bribed? No, not bribed. That's not the right word. Lobbied. Yes, that's the right word.
Lobbied.
It is not clear how many of the dead have no next of kin. Now this is important. It's not clear, and I'm going to tell you why that's a question that has to be asked. Dead have no next of kin or could not afford a funeral. We're not clear, okay? However, the city has cut the amount of time it will hold unclaimed remains and pressure on morgue space. All right, so to continue, New Yorkers have been shocked by the grim scenes, ambulances constantly blaring down eerily deserted streets. Okay, I want to bring up, and I've had a few people bring up this in comments, that they live in New York, and ever since the empty hospitals came out and it went viral on Twitter and it's just a big phenomenon, all of a sudden we now have sirens going off, whereas before not only was it eerily deserted, it was eerily quiet. Anyways, images of body bags being forklifted into refrigerated trucks outside hospitals, and now the trenches. And I'm going to cover these refrigerated trucks in probably the next video, okay guys? Okay, I switched over to BuzzFeed, which is Democrat feed if you want. Here they make a statement. To deal with the influx of bodies, New York has been using a fleet of freezer trucks as temporary storage. On Thursday, the city also...
Yeah, it says here, on Thursday, the city also announced that it would limit the number of days the bodies was stored in the morgue down from 1.14 days to 30 days. Avery Cohen, Press Secretary for Mayor Bill de Blasio, or Bill de Flacidio, publicity news that the city had previously allowed bodies to remain in the morgue for long periods. But that has no longer possible. They've been in there for a while, and we don't have the luxury of allowing that to happen anymore, he said, or she said.
Also announced that it would limit the number of days that a body was stored in the morgue, down to 14 from 30. Now, here's my question. How long does it actually take to track down a family member? Is it longer than 14 days? And due to the fact that we cut the amount of time in half, of course...
If the person dies, the family should know. Do not pull the wool over the eyes of the family. The families need to know this shit. Because something is not right. It is really...
I have is, are funeral homes and those that track down family members, is that essential? Or has that job been cut back? Basically, how many families are actually being attempted to be tracked down? Or are they just going to store everybody until after the crisis and then attempt to track down the families? That's an important question because that's going to have a huge difference as to the number of people going in. Huge difference. And I'm going to suspect that right now tracking down families is on hold. Unless you know that your family member is dying, odds are good you're not going to find out if a distant relative died until after the crisis. Look, let's be quite honest, all right? This whole story that's going out about the mass burials and up to 25 people a day, we don't really know nothing. What we know is that a contractor is now doing it, which could be an inside person, I don't know. But I do know this, there's no union for prisoners. There's no prisoners union group, which is going to limit the amount of prisoners that can work and how long they can work. I mean, there are statutes, etc. But you get the point of the matter. They have an almost unlimited amount of people that are willing to get out of jail, go down and bury.
Willing to go as far as do it under the radar and make it quick. I think that the family should know. But to be honest, the family should know. But if not, something is really, really fucked up. I just think that more people need to come out. To be honest here, I think more nurses, more doctors should do it, where their voice and their face are hidden and blurred, where we can know what's really going down. I mean, what's really, really going down. You guys need to know this shit. Because you have families that either get diagnosed and or died from the COVID-19. So it is really insane. So check it out. Do your research. I mean, look into it, guys. Look into this, okay? All right, guys. Please share this video. Subscribe. Comment below. Hit the bell for notification. And if you've got this transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Revan. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is power. Always remember that. Please be safe. Take care. Godspeed. I love you guys. Be careful, okay? Peace.